What's up, YouTube? Today we visit a website called badgerhut.com, where the Badger wrote an article called Just Be a Better Version of Yourself, an addendum to Friday's pep talk. It was written on April 10th, 2011 at 7:41 p.m. Let's begin. Just be yourself. It's one of the greatest clueless lies of modern dating consciousness, right up there with girls want nice guys. The fact is that there's a very small kernel of truth in it, and once you get past the literal interpretation of the phrase, when a woman tells you to just be yourself, she's not saying the right girl will love you for who you are. She's saying be secure and let everybody know it. Women value and find attractive guys who give the air of congruence and security in their skin. In other words, men who don't look like they're trying, just as men appreciate women who don't look like a synthetic different person. So what is he saying here? Just be yourself is wrong. Just being yourself does not mean, okay, I'm gonna tell her exactly how I feel and exactly what I think, and I like doing these things, and this is not okay. And yeah, okay, wow. Thank you for being so honest with me. Wow, I really like you. I want to be with you. No, no, it's not what it means. What it means is you are being a person who is confident in themselves. It's you being a person who isn't trying to fake it. Okay, you have to be the guy who does what he says and does what he wants to do without giving a fuck about what other people think. And remember, no one is telling you to be an asshole. That's not what this means. What it means is just do the things that you believe in, plain and simple. And the same thing goes for women. You don't have to dress up in a certain way or put on a bunch of makeup. Just be yourself. Like, come on. It's simple. It's simple. It's simple. Continuing, he says, do the best with what you got. You need to be who you are, but you have to do it the right way. Rather than implementing game by changing your whole personality around to a way you're not built to act, it's simply a lot better to make your traits positive elements in your game arsenal, right? A lot of mistakes that guys make is thinking they need to look like a men's health cover model or wear a four-figure watch or have a nice car just to land the woman, right? That's not true. And the same thing goes for girls. They think they gotta look like a slutty princess and put on a clown whore makeup to attract men. It's not true. And he goes over an example. On Friday, he had a commenter who was saying he was worried about his balding head. And the Badger's advice to him was plain and simple. Just shave it and forget about it, right? And the key lesson is that same type of advice will apply to almost any trait you believe holds you back in the sexual marketplace. So anything that you believe is holding you back, you have to own those traits, minimize them or leverage them so that they're positive things, that they're strong things. They don't have to be something that holds you back. If you think it holds you back, then it holds you back, right? You have to have the ability and the mental capacity to sit down and figure out what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. How do I make my strengths stand out? And how do I make my weaknesses better to the point where they're no longer weaknesses, right? If you're the tall guy who takes up a lot of space, then probably you have to carefully control your movements and rein yourself in because you're so big. And if you're muscular, it's even worse. You're socially threatening. Someone's going to think you might just knock them upside the head, or you put your hand on their shoulder and they fly to the ground, right? And if you're a short guy, a lot of women will literally look right past you, right? And there's nothing you can do about that. Big whoop. But now you have to find a way to take something about yourself and give off the big presence that your physical frame can provide. Or let's say you're a person who likes to talk. If you're a male who likes to talk, that can get quite annoying to some people, right? Women are usually the ones who like to talk. They're the chatterboxes. So now you have to find a way to make that into a positive strength, right? He gives an example of how Mystery learned, because Mystery loved to talk, he learned how to carry his listener through multiple ideas and storytelling, right? And now he became a source of entertainment and interest. So what about if you're introverted? Right off the bat, people may believe that you're shy. You're afraid to speak. What's wrong with him? Why is he always quiet? In reality, you can flip that. And you can be more of a person who it's not that you don't like to talk, but you're just a quiet guy with deep thought. I don't talk often, but when I do, I'm always spitting fact, right? At the very least, you also get points for being mysterious because they're curious about you. People will be curious about you. Why doesn't he talk? Like, what's up with that? And he says, well, if you're fat, you can't fix it. Perhaps that's true, but I don't think so. If you're fat, you just got a lot of work to do. Lose it. Lose it. Because the reality is, if you're fat, my guy, nobody's going to want to As Steffers Cole likes to say, dig them guts out. Nobody's gonna want you to do that to them. You just lose the weight, all right? Stop making excuses and handle your business. You know what you gotta do, so just do it already, right? And he gives two examples of who people in real world used game to create success for themselves. He states Mystery has a flair for performance that motivated his early days as an amateur magician. His natural impulses is to play the crowds. He combined that with his logical mind to develop a way to win the hearts of women. Bars, clubs, and other high novelty social scenes make great locations for his gregarious, group oriented method. His height, soft vocal cadence, and outlandish wardrobe all exploited positively to his ends, as is his presence in entertainment oriented cities like Miami and LA. And on the other hand, we have a guy like Rossi, who, at the least, his online persona is better suited to the brooding, analytical, and vaguely misanthropic loner shtick he has parlayed into a spot as one of the most prominent personalities in post-Strauss game community. Building on his natural game, his youthful looks, and quasi-emo clothing help him stand apart from the overdressed DC lawyer and staffer crowd. So it is possible. There are people out there who have taken what they quote-unquote believed was bad and turn it into a positive. And all of you guys can do the exact same thing. You're good enough now, so get moving, right? Never fall for the idea that you can only move forward on something important in your life if and only when you first lose those 10 pounds, or get buff, or get a better job, or pay off your credit card, or get that new car, or get that new house, or get those new shoes. That's not true. At the end of the day, if something is worth doing it, you owe it to yourself to get it done. Okay? Point blank, period. I'm going to say it again. If something is worth doing, you owe it to yourself to do it now. And the only thing that the Badger would recommend to take off this list, so will I, is that depending on your age, you don't want to get married and have children very early. It can make life for you very difficult. All right? And sure, while not everything can be done right now, because you might have to do something first, just make sure you don't develop the habit of avoiding the long-term goals for short-term dirties. Because it's going to come a time where you put off something for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, even 20 years. And now you're a 40-year-old. And you're doing things in your 40s that you should have been doing in your 20s. And you look retarded to society because you're a grown-ass man who doesn't have his together. That is a problem. Stop rating. Stop rationalizing your own excuses, your own BS. It doesn't do anyone any good. And all it does is do you harm. Stop it. Stop it. You can't wait until something is done to do the things that you got to do. All right. And the problem is that, okay, life is always going to suck somehow. He states, closely related to the previous point, be cautious in believing that other people have it better than you. There's a reason coveting is in 2 of the 10 commandments. It could be argued that this is a particularly destructive variant of imposter syndrome, and in any case, it leads quickly to learned helplessness and acceptance of an unacceptable situation. For example, like a girl watching one-way models on TV saying, if only I was pretty like them, I would be fabulous. Guys would like me, and I wouldn't have any worries. But I'll never be like them, so what's the point in trying? What? Do you know how silly that sounds? You're deciding to turn yourself into a helpless person? Oh, I can never be like, who told you that? Who told you can never be like them? Right now, fellas listening, how many celebrities do you look up to that are males? How many of them have a nice car, have a nice house with 10 bathrooms, a basketball court in the backyard, a pool, a movie theater, 5-car door garage? How many of them own their own business? And you're going to automatically think that that can't be you? Are you serious? Are you out your goddamn mind? That makes no sense. And if you think like that, cut that now. Cut it out now, because it does nothing for you. You can be like that person, but you gotta be willing to put in the work. You gotta be willing to take the risks. You gotta be willing to do what you have to do day in, day out for weeks, months, years straight. That's just life. No one is handed a get me out of poverty, jail free card. No one is given a here you go, $1 million, like a loan, a gift. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't, okay? Everyone is going to have some issue that's going to cause you to feel jealous in somebody else, right? The skinny girl who wishes she had boobs, or the busty girl that wishes she was thin, or the short guy that wants to be tall, or the tall guy that wants to be short, or the people working outside all day wanting to work inside, or the people who working inside want to be working outside. There's always something. Okay, there was always something. So at the end of the day, Haters are gonna hate, and there's always gonna be somebody that's gonna criticize you over something. So the sooner you just do what you want to do, the sooner you realize that whatever fault you believe you have is an issue, when in reality it is not, the faster you're gonna arrive above it. So that's the article for today, folks. If you've learned something today, or if you feel like you want to add on to the conversation, please leave a comment down below. I'm always happy to chat with you, and I'll see you next time. Peace.